So this video is about the downsides of being a rich kid, of growing up in a 1%er family, which everyone despises. There's a really strong stigma against like rich kids. They're not respected in society. They have a really hard time later in life. And like no one has any sympathy really for a kid, like a rich kid. Like no one cares at all. And I'm making the argument that rich kids, a lot of time, kids who grow up in a 1%er family, a lot of times actually have a much harder life ahead of them for a couple of reasons. The first is that every single person or kid I knew who grew up in a rich, like a 1%er family, they developed like really obscure passions and hobbies and interests. Like a lot of my friends were into golf. A lot of them were into like horseback. A lot of them were into music. Some were into race car driving and like racing sports cars, fancy cars. Some were into travel and fine dining. So you kind of develop this palette, this like really expensive palette, and you developed all these hobbies and passions. While a rich kid's out playing golf and having the time of his life with his friends, there's some Asian kid who's studying really hard and is learning coding and working on, someone else is working on their business skills. And so while someone's out playing golf, a rich kid's playing golf, the Asian is already successful in programming. He's already starting his career, already working on making money. That's the first reason. The second is because it's a minority group of people. Like only 1 out of 100 kids, 1 out of 100 people can even relate to this, if less than that. Only 1 in 100 kids had the opportunity to play golf. 1 in 100 kids had the opportunity to, have a private music studio in their home. It's the truth. And so first of all, there's a lot more expansion that happens for rich kids. You become more of a human. You have more leisure time. So like I said, no one feels bad, but at the same time, we have to recognize that it's also a different lot from other people. It's a completely different situation. It's a minority group. It's the rich minority, not the majority. And the other thing is that like no one cares. Like literally nobody cares if a rich kid can't play golf anymore when they're an adult. Like people will just laugh. They won't even feel that at all. For me, it's a huge deal, like having to give up my biggest passions because I can't afford it, right? But if you never even had the opportunity in the first place, you can't miss what you don't have, what you never had.